Police are investigating after a death in Sanford last week. Maine State Police say a man was found dead by the fire pit in the backyard of his home on Twombly Road. The medical examiner is now looking into what caused his death. Police have not yet released his identity. And officials are stressing they don't think that man's death has anything to do with an active search today.
They say they are trying to find a suspect who shot at an officer early this morning. Our Alex Haskell joining us live once again in the Sanford area with the latest. Alex.
Hi, Brian. Hi, Amanda. So Lebanon Street is right behind us here, and that's the area where police say this incident happened. So here's what we know so far. Police say just after 1 o'clock this morning, an officer was attempting to make a traffic stop here when a person in that vehicle shot at the officer. Police say that officer was not hurt. That vehicle then fled the scene and was later abandoned. Investigators have since been searching the Springville area to try to find who was inside that car. Earlier this morning, our team spotted a large number of law enforcement in the area of Blanchard Street, but they have since cleared out. At the moment, we do not have any descriptions of suspects yet. Police say there is no immediate threat to the public and are stressing this was an act of violence directed toward an officer. Police add they have an important piece of evidence to help them in their search right now.
We do have their vehicle, so we seized that. And we're going to be doing a search warrant for evidence in the vehicle, that evidence of the crime and also evidence that potentially will lead us to some suspects.
Now, police in this area are asking folks to be aware of their surroundings, and if they see something suspicious, call 911. In Sanford, Alex Haskell, CENTER Maine.
Democrats get extremely agitated about this case. Again, we're investigating that case. They're being dishonest if they say that we're not investigating that case.
Vice President J.D. Vance in Brewer just yesterday commenting on the fatal ICE shooting in Biddeford in July. Vance told the crowd that the Trump administration and DHS were looking into the circumstances of Johann Sebastian Guerrero's death. But today, the attorney for the Guerrero family says no federal agency has contacted them or the family so far. He says no federal agency has explained the scope of that investigation to the family or who is leading it.
Meanwhile, a new report shows ICE detentions in Maine for 2026 have surpassed the number of 2024 and 2025 combined. These numbers come from the Maine Immigrants' Rights Coalition, which says ICE agents detained 200 people in January when DHS announced an increase in immigration enforcement activity in Maine. The coalition found more than half of the people impacted were between 25 and 44 years old between 2024 to July of this year, and nearly 94% of those apprehended are men.
Penobscot County's largest community health center is on the edge of bankruptcy. Today, Penobscot Community Healthcare, it's better known as PCHC, is sending out a call for help. News CENTER Maine's Ryan Bell joining us live in our studio with what we've learned about that situation so far. Ryan.
Brian and Amanda, about 50,000 people in the greater Bangor area are now at risk of losing critical services like access to primary care, dental, and pharmacy options. In a letter, PCHC's CEO outlined the shortfall, saying the organization is facing a roughly $3 million crisis. The company says that gap must be filled in the next 1 to 2 months if services are to continue. According to the letter, the issue was created over several years as a result of delayed funding and cuts to state and federal programs. They also say high provider turnover and poor reimbursement for preventative care is a major factor. PCHC is a nonprofit organization with a mission focused on providing affordable health care solutions. Officials estimated services diverted thousands of patients from emergencies last year alone, saving people tens of millions of dollars in medical debt. The agency works alongside other nonprofits in the region like Wabanaki Health and Wellness to provide their care, and leaders there say losing the services would be devastating.
We must consider what their difficulty would bring to our community if they were not here, and that difficulty would be great.
And a group of state legislators in the Bangor area also calling on the governor and attorney general to allocate $1 million in opioid settlement funds to PCHC. In a letter, State Senator Joe Baldacci writing in part, a significant infusion of opioid settlement dollars would allow PCHC to stabilize staffing currently held a bare bones ratio to keep the doors open, while it builds a longer-term sustainable funding model in partnership with municipal, county, and state agencies. And if you'd like to help bridge the gap, more information available on PCHC's website. Brian and Amanda.
All right, Ryan Bell live for us in our studio with that. Thank you, Ryan. A contractor convicted of defrauding more than 50 people in Maine has died. Malcom Stewart, the former owner of Castle Builders, pleaded guilty to theft 2 years ago after stealing more than $400,000 from several clients. In a letter to the victims, the Maine Attorney General's office says Stewart passed away in July, meaning they likely will not get all the money back that they were owed. Stewart avoided jail time due to end-stage kidney disease.